the universe knows what our potential is. We don't have to know it. The seed doesn't have to know what type of tree it's growing into. All the seed has to do is follow whatever signs, signals, pulls, pushes, however it works, that the seed gets from the universe. You plant a seed in the soil, the rain is there, the sun is there, but the seed doesn't have to plan, I'm going to be an orange tree, I know it, I can feel it, okay. And it doesn't have to every day chant like orange affirmations, I'm becoming an orange tree, becoming an orange tree. It's just a seed. And then it's a sprout. It allows itself to be cracked open. And in that allowing to be cracked open, its full potential emerges, becomes a sprout. And then the sprout grows and ultimately becomes a tree. But that potential is about allowing, not forcing. And the same thing is true for us. If we stay very stuck in who we think we are, what we think we're supposed to be, what we think we're supposed to do, then it never happens. Because then that metaphoric seed never actually cracks. So you allow the juicy orangeness, or the crunchy appleness, or the soft peachness, or whatever type of seed you are. You just allow it to happen. You don't even have to know. Just allow and align yourself with that flow of the divine. You know, everything else in the world knows what to do. There's no species on earth that is confused. You never see any other species, am I a dog? Am I a goat? Am I a cat? Am I a horse? Like you never see them trying to figure out what they might be. Dogs grow into dogs, and horses grow into horses, and goats grow into goats, and they all do their own thing. They don't mix and match, they don't get confused. Humans are the only species that spends a huge amount of its life confused about what it is supposed to be, what it is supposed to do, how it's supposed to do that. And it's because we live so much in our heads. These brains are great. It enables us to do far more than any other species can. But what it also does is it keeps us so stuck in our head that we're not able to drop down into our hearts. And when we're not able to drop down into our hearts, we miss that opportunity to feel and to know the divine call. So the way to actually experience your full potential is not about what do you make happen. It's about what do you allow to happen. And how much do you allow yourself to drop from the head to the heart so that you can just be that seed that cracks open and allows the sun in and allows the rain in and allows in that wisdom, that perfection of the universe that's going to make you be what you are. You would never have been created with a potential and without the tools to fulfill that potential. Would defy the nature of the universe. Everything in the universe that is created with the ability to fulfill its potential. A seed is always going to grow into a tree until and unless you do something stupid to it. Burn it, it's not going to sprout. All kinds of things you can do to make it not fulfill its potential. But if left to its natural device, you're automatically going to fulfill your potential. So don't allow yourself to get stuck in your head. This isn't my potential. I'm below my potential. This isn't, that's ego speaking. It's just our minds. It's our overstuffed brains that keep us from feeling in our heart. So let yourself drop deeply into the heart. And when you drop down, then you'll automatically hear and feel that call of the universe. And the universe is going to call you to fulfill your potential, because that's why you took birth. So don't worry about figuring it out. Just allow it. Yeah, beautiful question. Other questions? Any question that anyone here has? Some mic right here. Yes, of course. Come. Yeah, just share your name and where you're from. And just one sec. He's going to adjust the mic for you.
Namaste Mataji. My name is Komal. I'm from Mumbai. So I wanted to ask one question. When we do our sadhana, and when we should do one mantra jap only, or we can do multiple different kinds of japa. I have my ishta and I do the japa of that ishta only, but I get a lot of mantras. So I should do one mantra only to avail the siddhi?
Beautiful, beautiful question. When you are doing mantra jap as a sadhana, with your mala, in the repetitions, do one mantra. Stick with one mantra. Over and over and over and over. You just keep doing your japa. But at other parts of your sadhana, during your day, or even just at a different time of your sadhana, in your prayers and your puja, absolutely you can chant all the mantras. The mantras are beautiful and powerful and wonderful. But in the specific sadhana of mantra jap, you don't want to be jumping between mantras. भैया ये दरवाजा एक बार बंद करके बंद कर देना दो है ना धन्यवाद in your mantra jap you don't want to be jumping around, because what happens when we do mantra jap, it's not just the power of the mantra. If you look at the mantras that were given for japa, the mantras of the different Ishta Devtas, almost all of the mantras are actually identical. Different divine beings, but basically if you translate the mantras from Sanskrit to English, almost all of the mantras say something like, "O divine, in the form of this, I bow to you. O divine, with these characteristics, I bow to you." Those are what the mantras that we do mantra jap, almost all of them, if you translate them, that's what they say. It's just, "Oh God, in this form, by this name, with these characteristics, I bow to you." And so in the practice of mantra jap, that goes very, very deep within. The other mantras we chant are beautiful. We chant mantras, "Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya." May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy, right? We chant so many beautiful mantras for so many different things. But the mantra jap mantras are not those. They're these very short, very specific mantras of surrendering to the divine in a particular form and name. And the power lies not just in the mantra itself, but in the almost alchemical power that arises in the repetition. So allow yourself to just drop into that meditative state of the mantra. And it said, as you do mantra jap, it's not just reciting. So yeah, you're speaking the mantra, but you also should be hearing the mantra. So you're speaking it, but you should be hearing it as well. You should be seeing the mantra, either seeing it actually in your mind in the text, how it's written, or just seeing that aspect of the divine you're bowing to. It's even said you should be tasting the mantra in your mouth as you chant it. That you should even be having the experience of feeling the mantra with all of your senses. It's not like, oh, this mantra is chocolate and this is vanilla and this is strawberry. It's how through all of my senses am I engaging with that mantra. And if you were to swap between mantras, it would create a bit of chaos in the mind. Here's Bhagwan Krishna, here's Bhagwan Shiv, here's Ram, here's Ma Durga, here's this, and you would be going back and forth. And of course, all of them are divine beings. But what you want in mantra jap is to be dropping into the divine through one mantra, one isht, one focus, one rhythm, one anchored meditation, and it takes you into a very, very powerful holy place. But then absolutely learn other mantras, chant other mantras at different times. As I said, in your puja, before you eat, before you sleep, when you wake up in the morning, you can constantly be using different mantras throughout the day as well. It's on, I think. Yeah. Oh, I think you just turned it off. Yes.
Thank you, Mataji. I have one more question.
Sure.
When we do the meditation, when we are in the deep state and in the Muladhara chakra, sometimes I feel it's getting washed. So I feel a lot of negative images while doing the puja with respect to the Muladhara chakra. So how do I get rid of it? And it has started after a lot of meditation. I have been recently feeling this. So sometimes I feel bad, but I don't know how to get rid of that in my meditation.
Okay. So chakra-based meditation is a very powerful type of meditation. There's many different types of meditation. One meditation is a meditation focusing on our chakras. Some people focus on one, some people move from them. There's a meditation that I teach frequently in here where we move from the Swadhisthana chakra, just above the Muladhara chakra, up to our Agya chakra, to our third eye center, where we carry the breath between those. But if you're working with the Muladhara chakra, the thing to realize is that's what we call the root chakra. If it's closed and there's a blockage of energy there, which absolutely can happen. It can happen if you've ever been given any kind of negative ideas, thoughts, experiences, self-conception with regard to sexual energy. People who have either suffered sexual abuse, or even just in families and cultures that tell you like, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, and it's a constant sense of suppression and repression. You can get stuck. You can also have a heaviness and a stuckness with regard to your anchoring and your grounding in your physical presence here on earth, in the body. It's the root, literally, of our karmic existence. What I would say is don't worry too much about it. The more energy that you put there, the more stuckness you might be creating. Do a meditation instead, rather than focusing only on the Muladhara. Do a meditation that begins there, but that takes you rising up through the chakras. So carrying the energy from the root, either all the way up to the crown chakra, or carrying it up to the third eye center. So allow the energy to rise. And that'll keep the stuckness away from that chakra.
I have not done specifically any chakra meditation, but just the normal meditation has made, sometimes I feel negative images.
It shouldn't, but here's the thing. General rule of meditation, whatever arises, don't pay attention to it. Whatever you are meditating on, whether you're using a mantra, or you are focusing on your breath, or you are doing an open-eyed meditation of an image of the divine, whatever the object of your meditation is, as distractions arise, and distraction can take so many forms, a thought, a memory, the idea that, oh my God, the coffee pot is on, the stress that you've got an email to send, fear that this, fear, so many ways the mind will try to distract you. And it'll even tell you, oh, this is very important, look at me. Your job is one thing and one thing only. Draw the awareness back to the mantra, back to the breath, back to whatever you are meditating upon. Imagine that you were lying on your back looking up at the sky, and there's blue sky, and there's wispy clouds that are blowing by on the blue sky. Either you focus your attention on the cloud, and you carry it, you watch it all the way as it goes here. That's what you do when a thought arises, and that's what keeps you stuck, because it takes you out of the meditation. What to do is stay focused on the blue sky. The clouds of thought will blow by. Don't let your attention hook into the cloud. Just keep staying focused on the blue sky in between the clouds. Let them breeze by. It's a thought, it's a memory, it's an emotion, it's a fear, it's a stress, it's a grudge, it's a to-do, it's an ant crawling on your knee, whatever it is. Your job is one thing and one thing only. Bring the awareness back. Bring the awareness back. Bring the awareness back. Yes, beautiful. Other questions? Yes.
Namaste. Thank you. My name is Gabby. I'm from Mexico.
Welcome.
Thank you. And my question is regarding the first question that you were answering. Could you go deeper in how do we allow ourselves to be cracked open and fully surrendering to our hearts and to the divine?
Beautiful. Yeah, in the first question we spoke about, attaining your potential. The first step being to just let that seed of you crack open. It takes trust. To allow ourselves to be open is actually our truest nature. If you look at children who have been not abused or traumatized or harmed in some way, they're very open. Very open. They want to know new things. They're going to pick up a From a psychological background, you know children who are coming from not so healthy families. If the kids are always very afraid wherever they go. Don't want to touch that, don't want to do that, afraid of this, afraid of that. It means they're picking up something unhealthy in the home. Same with us as we grow. If we are psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, fully healthy, allowing ourselves to be cracked open is going to be the most natural thing. Problem arises when, as we grow, we get hurt, we get told negative things about ourselves, we develop negative self-concepts, we take on other people's projections of us, and then we develop these complexes. And then we feel on some level like I have to hold myself contracted, because if I don't, I'm going to get hurt. Oh my God, if I take a risk, I could fail and everybody will laugh at me. Oh my God, if I open my heart, I'm going to get hurt and I'm going to be miserable and humiliated. And so we think that by holding ourselves together, we're somehow protecting ourselves, but actually what we're doing is suffocating ourselves. So the first and most important part is the simple awareness, what we call gyan, wisdom, that says, my way of doing things, not actually helping me. All of that self-protective mechanism that I think I'm doing, that I think is good for me, is actually harming me. I don't take risks. I don't open myself. I don't trust. It's just suffocating you, keeping you stuck. So first piece is simply the awareness of that it's not the universe that's a danger. It's your fear of the universe that's a danger. It's your reaction to the universe that's a danger. Number 2, faith. One of my favorite things, in LA where my parents live, they live in this condo complex that has a swimming pool. And if you've ever been in a public pool area, a hotel, a condo, a YMCA, wherever it is, what you'll always see, if it's a nice day and there's a lot of people out, what you'll always see if you sit there long enough is some little kid, clearly just first day at the pool or like just learning to swim, and they're a little toddler and they have floaties on their arms, and their mom or their dad is in the pool with their arms up like this, going jump, 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 and the little kid is on the edge of the pool, like wanting to jump but terrified. And you watch this kid. I've seen the scene now so many times in so many different places all over the world. You see the kid will run up and down the length of the pool, kind of going, and they've got their floaties on their arms, and they're like, And in the pool, mom or dad is going, jump, jump, jump. And eventually, usually takes a little while, but eventually the kid stops freaking out and jumps. And of course, mom or dad catches them. And then the exact same thing always happens without fail universally. The kid squeals with joy and goes, again, again, once more, once more. And then they jump and jump and jump and jump until mom or dad gets tired and says, enough. And it's such a beautiful metaphor for life, because I look at that kid and I think, this is exactly how we are. The divine is saying to us, jump, jump, like I'm here for God's sakes, I got you. But we're afraid. We feel like here on solid ground I'm safe. And we're very afraid to get off of that which seems solid to us. But ultimately, if we never jump, then we never have the experience of swimming, leaping into mom and dad's arms, fulfilling that potential. So whenever you find yourself kind of stuck in the shell, not wanting to let yourself be cracked, just think of that little toddler on the pool. And give yourself that bit of encouragement, like just know you're going to be caught. The universe is going to catch you. The divine is here for you. You know, in schools and in so many of the like corporate team building programs, they always do this trust fall, right? Where they'll have one person stand behind the other and you hold your arms out like this and you've got to fall backwards. And what's so interesting is no matter whether the person behind you is your enemy, the schoolyard bully, or a total stranger, you always allow yourself to fall. And they always catch you. Even someone who's your enemy, even someone who's your competitor, even someone who's the bully, even someone who's a total stranger. Nobody ever falls in those exercises. I've never seen it happen. They always catch you. If we can have that type of faith in a stranger, in our enemy, in our competitor, we need to have it in the divine. And so you allow yourself very consciously, very deliberately to trust fall into the universe. Okay, I'm going to let myself be cracked. And the moment that you decide that consciously, suddenly you're going to notice opportunities that arise almost every day that require you to crack your heart open. And it may be something as simple as allowing yourself to cry when you see children begging on the side of the road. It may be cracking yourself open to trust someone that you've just met who is destined to become your best friend or your future husband or wife or whatever. It could be that you allow your heart to crack open and because you have an idea for something that you want to do, but you're so afraid that you're going to fail and people are going to make fun of you. Or that you want to share something of yours with the world. It could be one of a million different options. But the minute that you consciously decide that, you're going to see the universe continue to send you opportunities for it. And the more you say yes, the more opportunities the universe sends.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Any other questions? Yes, we'll take this as the last question this evening.
Hi, Bhagawatiji. I'm Ayushi and I'm from Bombay. I have a series of questions, but I'll start putting one. So when you said let the seed grow naturally, does it mean that follow your heart? And if not, what does it mean? And if yes...
So I'm so sorry, the beginning part.
Yes, so when you said let the seed grow naturally...
Let the seed grow naturally, okay.
In continuation of the same
yes,
discussion...
of course.
Does it mean that follow your heart? And if not, what does it mean?
Great.
And if yes, then are there any ways or signs we can understand whether it is actually the heart and we are growing naturally? And if not, then it is your brain and those are the forced thoughts.
Yeah, great question. First of all, it's important to clarify the question of follow your heart and follow your brain.
Right.
That which feels like our heart sometimes is actually also our brain. The emotional self is actually brain. When we say follow your heart, it's not follow your emotions, because emotions constantly change. Fear is an emotion, desire is an emotion, lust is an emotion. These are things that arise. We could debate exactly how to categorize them, but they all fall under this emotion/feeling state. When we speak about really following your heart, what it means is essentially follow your intuition, which is a way of knowing that is not emotionally based. Emotions tend to be very, very narrow. Intuition tends to be very expansive. Emotions tend to be frantic. Gotta have it, gotta do it, I want this. Intuition tends to be much calmer and stiller. It's strong, but it's calm and still, typically, that inner voice. So allowing yourself to grow like the sprout, absolutely, it means follow your intuition. That you allow yourself to grow. Think about trees. This is my favorite example. Typically, trees grow straight up. It's in their DNA. And yet, every once in a while, if you walk through a forest, forests are my favorite place. And if you walk through forests, you'll see trees growing sideways, horizontal to the ground, just like that. Living trees, not dead ones. Living trees growing like this. Because at some point in their growth, they intuited that if I grow straight up, I'm not going to get enough light. That somehow there's more trees, the canopy is too thick, the angle isn't right, whatever it is. But long before it gets all the way there, it has an intuition that my light is this way. And even though everyone around it is growing straight up, that tree grows sideways. And I love it. It's such a beautiful lesson for life. That let yourself really feel and know that intuitive calling. It's going to guide you correctly. But what most of us do is we look around and we're like, oh no, I couldn't possibly go that way because everybody else is going this way. They're going to laugh at me. They're going to call me names. They're going to tell me I'm stupid. What if I fail? Oh my God. So yes, intuition is what we listen to. But it's not the heart the way that most of us access our heart. When most of us say, oh, my mind says this, but my heart says that. What we really mean is, my reason says this, or my intellect says this, and my emotions say that. In a case like that, you're actually better off listening to your logic than your emotions. But neither of them is really the one to listen to. Really the one to listen to is your intuitive voice. Yes. So how do we feel it and find it? By being quiet. It's there. It's there. Like I was saying, every other species on earth knows exactly what to do. It's there. The problem is there is so much else that is also there that we cannot hear it. And so we get lost. The practice of meditation is that which makes us quiet enough to hear the inner voice. Through meditation, we silence all the other voices such that you can hear it. There's also this beautiful practice of niti niti. It's a meditation I lead frequently. You can go online. There's probably at least 10, 15, 20, 30 different times we've done it. It's a beautiful practice. And it teaches you to just say, neti neti, I am not my clothes, I am not my skin, I'm not my bones, I'm not this, I'm not that. And you go layer by layer of what you're not, including, I am not chemicals. Right? I'm not dopamine, I'm not serotonin, I'm not norepinephrine, I'm not oxytocin. That's not who I am. I'm not a electrical impulse, right? We know that. But every thought you have, every emotion you have, every memory you have is some combination of an electrical impulse, that dopamine, that serotonin, that oxytocin, that norepinephrine, and so many others. But when we realize that we're not the chemicals and we're not the electricity, then we realize that we are not the thoughts and we're not the emotions. And as you do that practice, slowly, 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 you realize, not this, not this. And that which you are emerges in that spaciousness.
On this note, I have one small question to add to this. So when you said that you should crack yourself open and let the universe take control of you.
Oh wait, I'm so sorry, say that again?
When you said that you should let yourself, that jump, trust fall, suppose in a trust fall, and yet let the universe take charge. In that case, how do we exactly, so there are times when your personal, whatever you're willing to do personally, when your intuitions are also at the right place, how do you balance that with the societal / family expectations?
Great, okay. And we'll take this last. This will be our last one for this evening. Baki to kalelete.
Sure.
So, be very clear. No one has come on earth with their Dharma being सामने वाले को खुश करने के लिए. Now, yes, our Sanskriti, our sanskaras, culture teaches us, be caring, be polite, be giving, atiti devo bhava, serve, matri devo bhava, pitri devo, our mother, our fathers, these are divine. Serve all. But our highest, deepest, most important calling and dharma is ultimately to wake up, to have that deep internal spiritual experience of the truth of who you are. And if those people around us are spiritually evolved and awake, then you following that dharma is actually what's going to make them happy. The dilemma arises when people say, "Arey log kya sochenge? Log kya kahenge?" And suddenly it's not about your dharma, it's not about your path, it's about ki, my ijjat in the face of the neighbors. That is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to your dharma. Far too many people have wasted so much of their lives in this chakra of samne wale kya sochenge. Let go of that. Be polite, be caring, be sharing, live with integrity, live according to dharma, but do not forsake your truth. It never works out well. I cannot tell you the number of situations I have seen where people make a decision in their life, whether it's about their job, whether it's about where they're going to live, what type of lifestyle they're going to live, who they're going to live with, in which people suppress their own dharma, their own calling, their own intuition, just because this is what society says, or that's what, will make them happy. And it never works out in the long run. No one ends up happy. And you end up missing the opportunity to fulfill your dharma. When I first came to India, I went through this. You can imagine my parents, 25-year-old, only child, suddenly announces that she's, moving to India, living in an ashram, then she's taking vows of renunciation. obviously there was resistance, much more my mom than my dad. I said to them, when I told them I was going back to India, I said, I love you, I respect you, I know that your lives have worked out for you, and that makes me so happy. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't actually want to be you. I know that you are perfect for you and that you are so happy and that your life is wonderful and that's so great. I thank God for that. But I know that that's not the path that I am meant to be on. And I said to them, if I get on the same train you got on, I'm going to get to the same destination. And so I was really clear. I said, look, I need to go back. I want to go with your blessings, but I'm prepared to go without your blessings. So don't think that by withholding your blessings, you're somehow going to prevent me from going. And that was something that perhaps because I was American rather than Indian, an American good girl was able to say things like that in the way that an Indian good girl might not. And so for that, I feel grateful that I came of age in a society in which that didn't feel like a not good girl thing to do. But the truth is the same. If I had not followed my Dharma, my mom did not want me to come. She thought, okay, chalo, thodi der ke liye. I mean, she was fine with me coming for a little while. But as it went from being just a temporary thing to longer, she didn't want it. And if I had forsaken my Dharma to make her happy, I would have been miserable. And now you look. My mom is now here. Why is she here? Why is she here? Because 3.5 years ago, almost 4 years ago, she had a massive stroke, a massive cerebral hemorrhage. And after being in America at the best hospitals in LA for 7 months, there was nothing the doctors could do. My dad was miserable and on the verge of him getting super sick because of his stress. And Pujya Swamiji said, bring her to India. And at first I thought, no way, she can't stand, she can't walk, she can't see, she can't use the bathroom, she can't feed herself, she can't do anything. But I did. And almost 4 years later now, we really expected her to die within the first couple of months. She was at that level, she was that sick, that weak. She's regained all of her strength. She's doing so much better on every level. And whenever it is her time to go, however many years it may be, she will give up her body on the banks of Ganga. Now you think about that. You think about what her life's karmic package was. Born in New York, spent her whole life in LA, in as much a lifestyle as the exact opposite of one that you would expect to be here as possible. As anti-me coming as you could think. But when you think about destiny, and you think about Dharma, because together she and I, in allowing me to live my Dharma, it actually created the situation in which she gets to leave her body on the banks of Ganga and have her final rites done on the banks of Ganga, which otherwise never would have been happened. She would have been buried in a cemetery plot next to other family members, end of story. So your giving up your Dharma, thinking it's going to make somebody else happy, ends up actually preventing them from having whatever lessons, growth, transformation that they need to have. Your highest role on earth is not to prevent people around you from having to go through their karmic journey. Oh, I'll make this okay, I'll make this okay, I'll make this okay. Like, you won't have to learn this lesson. You won't have to go through that challenge. You won't have to learn this lesson. And we end up handicapping the people around us. Under the guise of thinking that we're helping them and making them happy, we're actually handicapping them. That struggle, that challenge of accepting, oh my God, she's doing this, she's made this choice, it was not what was in my mind, it was not my agenda. That growth is the challenge through which they grow and learn and transform and enable them to fulfill their own karmic journey. Of course. Beautiful. Have a beautiful, beautiful rainy night. A beautiful morning and day to our family joining us from all over the world online. And so much love to you all. I look forward to being together again tomorrow.